An MLP VR game? This thing must be from another dimension. Hasbro never made an MLP VR game.
Except it isn't. Not from another dimension, that is.
Hello?
What you are looking at is an officially licensed My Little Pony virtual reality game. This thing actually exists, and I don't blame you for not knowing what this is, especially considering Hasbro has literally done zero in terms of advertising for this product. I've spoken to some old heads in the fandom who literally had no idea this was a real product. Even when I was making my G5 timeline of events and specifically searching up MLP video games, this completely skipped my radar.
Who the hell is talking right
So, how did I learn of this product? Through Minecraft, of course! I have a little side project I've been working on and off with. I've been attempting to recreate all of G5's entire Equestria within Minecraft. It is a massive project, and I needed some reference images for the Maritime Bay Theater. And I didn't feel like, scouring the movie for the good shots, right? I thought the G5 wiki would have all my bases covered. And that's when I spotted this screenshot. To my untrained eye, I immediately thought somebody snuck their G5 ragdoll posing session, Gmod posing session into the wiki, but no, apparently this is a real official screenshot. It was from an official game called My Little Pony Virtual Magic, and I have it right here. I bought this for $30.
Before we continue with unboxing, let's actually take a look at the box. So we have all the G5 characters here. Actually, there's like a cool film here. You can see it on the light, and it has virtual magic with a lightning strike. That's how you know it's serious. This retailed for $40. Holy shit! Boom! Wow! That actually fit in there. Izzy? That's something else right there. That is the face of God. Wow, a hardcover book, huh? Oh, okay, so only this part is the actual story. The rest is apparently like bio. Oh no, there is chapters here. It's definitely cheap plastic. It is not high quality, but that's to be expected. Remove. I will do so. Wow, that is something right there. Let me tell you what. It's definitely really cheap. It's just, it doesn't feel right. It's like, is it extended out yet? I don't know. Wow, my headset is complete, guys. Let's go do Steam VR now. Who wants to play some Half-Life Alyx?
If you can't tell, despite the price tag of this thing being $30, it is very cheap. Which kind of raises the question, who exactly made this thing? Hasbro is known for licensing out their IPs, and this is just no different. If you don't know already, pretty much everything that isn't a toy is licensed out by Hasbro. Hasbro does not make anything. Well, that's exaggeration, but they almost make nothing. They license out their IP. Even Friendship is Magic was a licensed out IP to none other than Wild Brain Studios, or back then it was called DHX Media. The guys are called Quantum Story. They're the ones who are behind this product. And honestly, I can't find a whole lot about them online, but with this handy just history recap video, it seems like they were kind of involved with 3D printing headsets way back when VR was first starting, and they might have also helped with the Viewmaster 3D goggles, and they made a very, very similar product to Virtual Magic with Hotel Transylvania, which looks to be the kind of same shtick as the Virtual Magic we're going to look at. Quantum Story then signed an exclusivity deal with NBC and Hasbro to create toys for Hasbro, aka that. Unfortunately, they signed this exclusivity deal right after Chris Cox became CEO. So, Quantum has not made a new toy in over 3 years. I mean, it's totally possible that they're just like really working on a new toy that's gonna be an absolute banger, but more than likely, Hasbro's just forcing them to sit on their ass. I stepped on a needle a little while ago. Am I bleeding? I sure as hell feel like I'm bleeding. So what actually is the premise of this thing? What does it do? Well, I'll tell ya. The concept behind this is supposed to use your phone with a really cheap VR headset and read a storybook while following along in the headset with, like, VR experiences, which is actually kind of a baller idea, I'm not gonna lie. In that thing is a real physical book that you can scan with your VR headset to see little pop-up AR models for you to see in the real world, which is actually a really sick idea. I am very much for that. It's actually a really creative thing. Absolutely no shade thrown towards Quantum Story here. It's actually a pretty damn sick idea. But unfortunately, I do gotta get a little tough on you, okay? Quantum Story, I gotta strong arm you. Because the VR goggles are really uncomfortable, especially right at the nose. Now, maybe I have a bigger nose than average, maybe, but the hard plastic just cuts into your nose cavity, and it just sucks. Plus, for whatever reason, the IPD adjustment was just never right for me. It was always blurry. No matter how much you waggle the IPD adjustment, they will never become not blurry for me, which really sucks. And I think the reason before that is because this headset was probably designed for children, obviously. I mean, look what brand that is. So it's not really a dig towards the VR headset or anything like that. It's just, you know, I'm an adult, but I gotta compromise if I want the MLP VR experience, Equestria Online. But one thing that I do have to say is that not once throughout this entire game did I ever feel like I was actually in VR. Not even a little bit. I honestly kept wondering if I was looking at 2D images instead of 3D environments, because I wasn't getting any depth at all. Even when like the ladybugs came right to my face in that one AR segment, there was nothing there. It genuinely felt like I had a flat screen TV taped around my face hole, you know? So the actual story of this VR game is basically just a recap of the G5 movie, honestly. Except instead of following Sunny, you play as Izzy, which is a nice thing to do. In the beginning, you actually play as a younger Izzy, a filly Izzy, and you learn the history of how all the tribes used to live together in harmony from none other than Princess Luna in the Stars, I guess? Interesting lore implications, I won't lie. And like I said, then you find Sunny's lantern, and I guess that ignites a spark within Izzy to go try to find her years later. Interestingly enough, there's no mention of Izzy's parents, so more fuel for the Izzy is an orphan theory. Why is every character who doesn't have parents on screen in this franchise immediately an orphan in the fandom's eyes? I don't know. Interestingly enough, it looks like Bridalwood was actually a mining town. Ah, I'm getting a fucking seizure. What the fuck is that thing? Is that a ghost? As now, years later, Izzy's more of an adult now, she decides to go venture out into the big wilderness to go find the Earth Ponies, Maritime Bay, by taking a minecart track through a crystal mine. But this is when it starts to really hit me.
Dude, I'm getting like, I don't get motion sick very often, but I'm getting pretty motion sick. Bats!
This section where you're riding in a roller coaster going through the crystal mines, I start getting a really, really bad headache here. So, fun fact about me, I can't get immersed in VR. No matter how hard I try, no matter what I do, no matter what face masks, face gaskets, head straps, headsets I use, I can never get immersed in VR. Whenever I play VR, it always feels like I am piloting a character rather than, you know, being that character. Doesn't matter the game, doesn't matter the headset, doesn't matter the controllers, whatever I'm doing, I am never immersed. I don't know why I'm like this. The closest I've ever come was actually the PSVR of all things, which if you know anything about the PSVR, you know it's a really terrible headset, but I guess Sony knew what they were doing because it worked on me. But the flip side of this coin is that I don't ever get motion sick. Give me the strongest roller coaster you can find, turn off comfort snap turning, turn off launch Bone Labs, I don't care. I will literally never get motion sick while playing VR. And this game is the exception to that rule. I don't know what's about this VR headset that makes it different, okay? I got horrifically motion sick while playing this game. This is the beginning of it, but I'm telling you, from here on out, it only gets worse. The only unique gameplay bits is that beginning section with Izzy finding the lantern and looking at the stars with Princess Luna in it. The rest of this game plays out extremely similar to the movie. It's basically just a hyper-condensed version of the movie. It's kind of fun to see the inside of the unicorn trap box, but like, why are these ponies just bouncing? Do you see this? That's a very interesting animation choice because, there's actually some really solid animation in this game. Like when Izzy first pops out of the book when you first put on the headset, that's a really good looking animation. It looks like it's straight from the movie, right? But then sometimes the animation will just drop. The quality of it will just drop. I don't understand it. Maybe they just like ran out of budget in some scenes, I don't know. But Sunny and Izzy then run into the Maritime Movie Bay Theater, and that's where I found the screenshot from, was from the trailer of this area. And why are we watching Pip's ad? Does that freak anybody else out? Don't the different tribes hate each other? Why would they be showing Pip's ad? A Pegasus, why? Who the hell is sneaking in contraband? Pegasus contraband. We also see a 3D model of the interior of the lighthouse, which is a massive plus for me. It's a little more bare and empty than I remember from the movie, but honestly, I'm just happy it's here, because I don't think we ever got like an explicitly good shot of the lighthouse, right? Interior lighthouse. So just being able to see the entire bottom floor is really, really nice. And hey, is that Izzy's reflection just a PNG on top of a plane? Well, at least that tech carried over from the movie, am I right or am I right? They eventually flee to Zephyr Heights and almost get run over by a massive boulder, because of course they do.
Jesus, I don't remember this part in the movie.
You spend some time in the dungeons. They gotta distract Flufflefuck here with some food to grab the Pegasus amulet, the Pegasus Unity Crystal. And for some reason, the food here is meat. Does that put anybody else off? The fact they're using meat products in G5? Are the G5 ponies all carnivores now? How does evolution explain that one, atheists? Eventually we go back to Bridalwood, and at this point, my headache is terrible.
Dude, I'm sorry, I gotta take a break. I'm like actually having a hard time. Oh my god. That's not enjoyable at all. I'm like actually have a headache. Wow, I feel like shit. Dude, I'm like actually fucked up. I am having a hard time seeing straight. Holy shit. I'm not having a good time. Like I actually feel like really nauseous.
When I took off that headset, I had to walk around outside for like a 30-minute walk in order to like see straight. My vision was actually blurry. But like I said, I've tried a bunch of headsets. As a matter of fact, my current headset is an Oculus Quest 2. I'm not a VR aficionado or anything like that at all, actually, but I still want, I want to get into VR, I just can't. But like I said, no matter how hard I try, I can literally never, ever get a
I can live with this. Back to Bridalwood, and unfortunately we completely skipped the tea room, which is really sad, because I would have loved to see the tea room, right? I feel like that place would have been awesome in VR, but seeing the quality of the rest of the game, I mean, let's be for real, how quality could it really be? Did anybody else see this freaking floating emerald above me? I don't know how to fix that. I just found this avatar on a random room, so I'm sorry if this is like somebody's OC, but I'm using it for today, okay? Is that alright? I hope it's alright. Let's continue on. Instead of the tea room, or even Izzy's house for that matter, we actually get a really, really cool, fashion show, I guess. We're in this place that I can only describe as, like, hell, which, honestly, I thought it was kind of fun. I mean, like, it's not what I would have wanted, but it's not, like, the worst thing in the world ever. And, I mean, this game is just weird, man. There's so much, like, dev lighting around. Like, one moment you're actually having a pretty good experience, and another moment you find, like, dev textures or dev lighting and things like that. It's just a really weird game. I don't know. So now we fast forward to when we're putting together the Unity crystals, and guess what? It fails. Who would have seen that one coming? Who watched the movie? Be honest, you freaking pre-watchers! And then we fast forward yet again to when Sprout is trying to knock over the Crystal Bright House. You know, we skip over all of the Sprout Hitler shit, which I guess is fine. It's honestly a wonder he even made it into the game in the first place, considering current world events. So, bada bing, bada boom, you smash crystals together like this. What is happening to my face? Oh, what? Wait, what? How am I blinking? What? Oh, if you touch the buttons, you change your face expressions. That's fun. Bada bing, bada boom, you put the crystals together, they do this magic stuff after the Crystal Bright House falls apart, and then you get Unity, which is really fun, might I add. You get this really cool sequence where you get to, like, levitate an apple and stuff. It's pretty alright, honestly. I was kind of confused on what to do in this section, because it doesn't really tell you exactly what to do. You kind of have to, like, rotate and look around and figure it out, but it's fine. It was a pretty alright section. And they actually showed a bunch of Sunny's toys, which is actually really interesting, because I think these models are from, like, Hello Pinkie Pie, which is crazy, right? I mean, look at them look at the Pinkie model side by side with the model that we saw in the game. These look like the Hello Pinkie models, do they not? So if they actually did use the Hello Pinkie models for this, it's actually really sick. I have nothing to back that up. I don't know if they did, I don't know if they didn't, you know? But, you know, it's cool. It's cool. What can I say? It's cool. And honestly, I feel like the focus of this game was kind of lost at some point down the line, right? Because I honestly think G5 could be a really, really good VR game. Even forget doing something original, just following the events of the actual movie, I think G5 could be a very good VR game. Throughout the movie, we see so many interesting locations that are just so beautiful. Like, Look at this field of grass and tell me with absolute certainty that you not want to just roll around in that grass. Could you imagine how cool that would be if we saw that in, like, actual VR? So, like, Zephyr Heights, the Cliffs of Maritime Bay, even the journey to Zephyr Heights was absolutely cinematic. I think the G5 movie has some really good set design, you know? I think that if they were to just ditch the phone VR part of this game and just focus on Steam VR, or hell, even focus on Oculus Quest hardware, right? I think they could have really had something super nice here. But instead, I don't know if it's being held back by budget, time, technology, hardware constraints, anything like that. But I think this game could have been really good. Does that mean I think the game is trash? Absolutely not. Actually, to the contrary, did I just bump my mic? To the contrary, I think this game's actually recently decently good. If I was 8 years old and you gave me this damn game, dude, I would be set. I would have loved it. When I was 8 years old, I was playing much worse games. Anybody remember this game? If this is blank, it means I couldn't find it in time and gave up. But do you remember this game? This is what I grew up with. Was it worth 40 bucks? Absolutely not. That is just outrageous, honestly. In my personal opinion, I think 40 bucks for this game is a little outrageous, you know? But, with that being said, it is a fun game. Minus the headaches. Without the headaches, it's honestly a pretty fun game. And that's it. Besides the fact it's a VR game, there's really nothing too special about it, you know? If you want to see more about this game, because I guarantee you've never seen it before, link down below is a unlisted video where I just play through the game normally. Not much commentary, honestly. I'm just kind of getting through it. You can watch me get sick in real time. And yeah. Remember, kids, always intolerance. I will see you guys later, and goodbye. Ugh. Get off my head! Get off my head! It's not getting off my head! Help me! Help me! You gotta save me, do you understand me? Why am I blushing? What the fuck? This is not the expression I wanted to convey right now.
Johnny, don't leave me. You said you